Timestamps are available in the video description if you'd like to skip to the actual speedrun. Otherwise, we'll get into the Warframe and weapon builds as well as a little compilation of tips that may help you with your Archon Hunts, especially if you're going solo. With that said, I do not recommend running the setup that will be discussed in this video. I spent countless hours trying to get just one successful run. Never mind a perfect run. You'd be much better off with a proper tank setup or going with a Revenant, for example, with a decent weapon. Doesn't have to be one-shot build or anything. Trust me, it'll be far less frustrating that way. Not to mention Archon AMAR being an absolute Bitcoin. What drove me to the edge was the second phase fight, where the boss happily transitions between multiple attacks where it's pretty much invulnerable, leaving very little time for you to get even a shot in. Honestly, if you can squat up for these Archon Hunts, by all means do so. Speedrunning is for unreasonable people like me. Or maybe it's just a case of me needing to get good. Anyways, on to the builds. I decided on Volt this time around, partly because the strength bonus for Rhino expired, of course, but also because I wanted to build a dedicated Archon speedrun setup. Titania may have been a better choice for quickly navigating through challenging terrain, but her entire ability set just didn't seem optimal for speedrunning. Not to mention keeping her alive proved even more challenging than with Volt, so for now, this is my frame of choice. This is the build. I prioritized strength and duration while keeping efficiency just good enough to make one clean run feasible. That's where Arcane Energize comes in real handy. Some would call this thing trash for energy generation these days, but I think very little comes close to its level of convenience. You could argue that Umbral Vitality is next to useless, considering that even a cough from one of the armors is probably enough to one-shot an entire Murex or something. I find that it does make a difference for like 2 or 3 times out of 10. Every bit of help with survivability counts, at least for me at my level of skill. It's also why I have Rolling Guard on. For the weapons side of things, it's pretty obvious. Everyone knows about the Kuva Heck. There could be other weapons that perform just as well or even better with specific setups, but I've already invested a lot of time, effort, and resources into this thing that I'm probably gonna stick with it for the foreseeable future. For dealing with the Deacons, I have the Latum or Latum set up for Viral. Nothing too fancy. Some miscellaneous stuff you guys should probably note down. I do have an Arcane Storm helmet on my Volt that gives me a bit more ability strength. I do also have Mirage's Eclipse subsumed in place of Shock. This is what really allows me to one-shot the Archon, along with Electric Shield and its crit damage bonus. Also got a couple of Archon Shards equipped that give me even more strength and a bit more energy. Rather than bore you guys further with my thought process, I'm gonna put up a simplified illustration of how I approached my speedrun attempts. By no means was this a perfectly thought up plan on the first attempt, of course. This took a few days to get to, and I'll probably have to tweak a couple of things for next week's Archon Hunt anyways. Alright, if you guys got questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try to get to them if I can, no guarantees. Check out the Discord server and Patreon if you'd like to support the channel, links in the description. Otherwise, I'd like to just thank you guys for watching this video. Have a good day.